To kill who? To kill Muslims, the fundamentalists in their country. So they take the greatest enemies of Islam for their friends and help them to stamp out Islam and Muslims. Why then do you still classify these leaders as Muslims? Why the double standard? Why the hypocrisy? Why the infidelity? Because you already said that if a Sahaba took Abu Jahl, Utbah, Shayba for his friend and helped them against Islam and Muslim, you would never classify him as a Sahaba. You would say he's a hypocrite. Why then do you classify the leaders of today who took sides with the UK, the USA, France against Islam and Muslims? Why do you classify them as Muslims still? This is clear nifaq, evident hypocrisy. The ayah which I've just quoted, Ma'idah 51, "O you who believe, don't take Christians and Jews for friends. Because if you do, you become one of them." Do you know why Allah revealed this ayah? At the battle of Uhud, the Sahabas, they lost the battle. They were winning the battle, but they lost. Because they dashed down from the hill, and they didn't stay where the Prophet told them to stay. They dashed down from the hill before getting the order to leave the hill. So they won the first phase of the battle, but they lost the second phase of the battle. So when they were going back to Medina, a Sahaba said to another, "When I go back to Medina, I'm going to take a Jew for my friend. Because if a calamity should befall us like what took place today at Uhud, at least I have the shoulders of a Jew to lean on." Then another one said, "When I go back to Medina, I'm going to take a Christian for my friend. Because if a calamity like Uhud should befall us a second time, at least I have the shoulders of a Christian to lean on." When Allah heard them speaking like this, Allah revealed it in Ma'idah 51, "O you who believe, do not take the Jews and Christians for your friends, because they are friends of each other. And if any one of you take them as friends, verily he has become one of them. Verily Allah Ta'ala doesn't guide the unbelieving folks. In Allah doesn't guide those who have transgressed all bounds." The Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, on commenting on those who you take for friends, the Rasul said, "Every man belongs to the religion of his friend. So beware of who you choose for your friends." Then the Prophet said, "Good friendship is like the man who is in the perfume shop. He didn't put the perfume on his body, but the remnants of the perfume was on his clothing." This is the good company. Bad company is like the blacksmith shop. Even though you were not actually in the fire, but the smoke in the blacksmith shop can be smelt on your clothing. This is the evil effect of bad company. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, "Anyone who has three qualities, indeed he has tasted the sweetness of Iman." Quality number one, you love Allah and His Messenger more than anything else. Quality number two, you hate to return to Jahiliyyah after Allah has rescued you from Jahiliyyah, the way you hate to be thrown into the hellfire. The way you hate to be thrown into the hellfire. And the other quality, you love a man, loving that man for no other reason but for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. Also in regards to Al-Wara wal Bara, the Prophet said, on Judgment Day, there will be two men. They will not be prophets, neither will they be shaheed, shuhada, martyrs, but the prophets and the shuhada shall envy them. Because Allah will give them maximum honor and respect and shade them underneath His shade. Who are these two men? Two men who love each other for the sake of Allah. They love each other for no other reason except for the sake of Allah. Then the Prophet said, 7 people beneath the shade of Allah on Judgment Day when there will be no shade except the shade of Allah. The first man, a just ruler, a ruler who was not tyrannical nor oppressive. Secondly, a youth who worshipped Allah in his peak of youthfulness. You grew up in Islam and you worship Allah in your peak of youthfulness. The third man, a man in which a beautiful woman called him to commit zina with her, and he says to her, "No, I fear Allah." The fourth, a man whose heart is connected to the masjid. His heart is connected to the masjid. He loves the house of Allah. And if you build a masjid for Allah, Allah will build for you a palace in paradise. The fifth, a man, whenever he gives you anything with the right hand, the left hand doesn't know anything about it. So can you imagine a person gives you a pair of shoes, and when you go to Eid, he said, "Oh, I didn't know it would fit you. It looks so nice on your feet." And he says it in front of everybody. He gives with the right hand, and then he tells it to everyone. So the other is the one, whenever he gives you anything with The right hand, the left hand doesn't know anything about it. He gives secretly and he doesn't broadcast it. The sixth, a man who locks himself up in a room and remembers Allah so much he shed tears. And the seventh and last, two men who loved each other when they were in the dunya and they exchanged visits a lot. Nothing brought them together, not because they spoke the same language, nor they're from the same country, same skin color. No, nothing brought them together except their love for Allah. These 7 people will be the 7 special people on Judgment Day whom Allah Ta'ala shall show maximum respect. At the Battle of Badr, let us take a look at Islamic history to see how the Sahabas practiced Al Wara wal Bara. At the Battle of Badr, Omar killed his own uncle, the brother of his mother. At the Battle of Badr, Mus'ab ibn Umair was fighting for the Muslims. He had a brother, a Kafir brother called Aziz. He was fighting against the Muslims. He was held captive. There were 70 captives at Badr. So Mus'ab was running towards him. So he was happy. Oh, my brother's coming to beg for me now. I will get away now. But when Mus'ab came, Mus'ab said to the Prophet ﷺ, tie him tight. Because his mother is there in Mecca, she's rich, she can afford to buy his freedom. Aziz said, how can you speak like that, Mus'ab? We came from the same womb. You're my brother. Mus'ab said, no, you have it wrong. You're a kafir. You're not my brother. He is my brother. And he pointed to another Muslim who was standing there. This is called Al Wara wal Bara. Now you know why the Sahabas were so successful. Now you have the secret now. You get the secret out why the Sahabas were so successful. At that same battle, the Prophet's uncle was held captive, Abbas. The Prophet said to his Sahabas, don't give him any favoritism treatment. Treat him like all the other captives. Not because he's my uncle, treat him like all the other captives. Abbas said, I was forced to come and fight. I didn't want to come and fight. The Prophet said, still treat him like the other Kafirs, charge him the same amount of money to ransom him. In that same battle, Badr, Abu Bakr's son said, Dad, on a few occasions I saw you during the battle. If I had wanted, I could have killed you. Abu Bakr said to his son, Wallahi, by Allah in whose hand is my life, if I had the opportunity to see you just once, I would have killed you. Abu Bakr was speaking to his own son that came from his own lines. This is called Al Wara wal Bara, loving and hating for the sake of Allah. So the Sahabas were successful because they practiced Al Wara wal Bara. Do we have Al Wara wal Bara in our lives today? When you take a look at the Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, a kafir coming out of the USA or the UK to that country, they spread the red carpet and give him red carpet treatment. Now this person who you are giving red carpet treatment because he's traveling with an American passport, they didn't ask themselves the question, is he a Christian? No, we realize he's white. Yes, he's white, but and he has an American passport, a British passport. Is he a Christian? Is he a Jew? Is he a homosexual, a gay? Is he an atheist? Agnostic? They don't ask themselves that question. Is he a Muslim, firmly grounded in Iman, not a hypocrite, a true Muslim? Before you spread the red carpet for him, they didn't ask themselves these questions. They did not see it necessary to ask themselves these questions. They give more pay to kafirs in the Gulf countries based upon the passport. So you, the Muslim, you may have the same qualification, but they give more pay to kafirs in these Gulf countries. This right now is happening in Manarat, Riyadh, Manarat, Jeddah, and so on and so forth. Muslims coming out of India, Pakistan, Africa, badly treated. Kafirs coming from Europe and America, properly treated. Is this Al Wara wal Bara?